Hey, Dwayne.
Hello, hello.
Hi, can you hear me good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Can't complain. Happy
Good.
Friday.
I know. Happy Friday. Um, we're already recording, so I'll edit all this out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm Carla. I'm also part of the Epiphany Project. One of my character Luna is going to be in the comic.
Mhm.
Um, and so you're one of the artists on the project, right?
No, I'm one of the writers. I'm
You're
one
one
of
of
the
the writers. Oh, and even more interesting. But
yeah.
you do so so the images you sent me, let me get their name right. Were you the writer on those comic books?
Yes, I'm the writer for Nightfall Michael's Awakening story, but the Salvation story is the one that my brother wrote. But I also did the artwork for I'm the artist for the company as well.
Okay, so Nightfall is your story.
Yes, Nightfall is my story.
Okay, and so the artist is somebody different. Okay, all right.
No, 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 no. I'm the artist.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're a writer and artist, but for the Epiphany Project, you're the writer. You're one of the
Right, yeah.
writers. Okay,
But I
got
did
it.
do I just recently posted some I guess you could say fan work.
Uh-huh. I saw it. I saw it. Oh, that's why I
Yeah.
was like, I said, oh, he must be one of the artists on the project.
I would have loved to have done like at least one cover,
Mhm.
they have or they already have their assigned people that they have for the to do the work. So, it is what it is. But I would have loved to have done at least one cover, that would have really made me happy. But hey.
I mean, it always can be added to the Kickstarter as like a pinup or a
That's what I'm
poster.
hoping. That's what I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
push. That's why I was showing them like, hey, I'm still here. Like, hey, if
Mm-hmm.
you need someone to do something, I'm here. I'll do it. But we'll see what happens. I just hope that the Kickstarter is very successful, and I'm sure it will be. I don't even have to even
It will be. Yeah, it will be.
pull any type of sales out of the water. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about the whole thing. Just to be a part of it is a big, big thing. It's a big
All
year for
right.
the company.
Well, good. Save it. Save all that because we're gonna. I'm gonna do my little intro, and then we'll get right into it. I have your questions pulled up. Um, did you get a chance to look over the questions?
Yeah, I
Or
looked
keep
up.
at them? Okay. All right. The one thing I don't have in here is X-Men 97. So we'll talk about that as well. Are you an X-Men fan?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
I've always had a very unique way of getting into the comic book business because I wasn't really a fan of comics. I was always watching, the TV shows, and the original X-Men show was
Oh,
huge.
Dwayne, pause it. Let me just do the intro real quick, and then we're gonna go right into it, okay?
I got
All
you.
right. Hi, my name is Moon the Storyteller, and I am the creator of Luna, a brand new comic book series out of Concrete Comics. Although my comic book new podcast has been put on pause, I did want to take some time over the next few weeks to highlight some of the creators on an upcoming crossover called the Epiphany Engine. And it's a crossover featuring writers and artists of from across the Black indie space, and it will be releasing on Juneteenth. So I have one of the writers, Dwayne Robinson, with me today, and we're going to talk a little bit about his writing, his creative process, his artistry, as well as his thoughts on some of the most recent projects we have out on TV right now. So, welcome, Dwayne.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for taking the time to sit down with me to talk a little bit about your role in the upcoming Epiphany Engine project. I'm really excited. You actually wear many hats. Um, Tell me a little bit about yourself, and then your projects that you have. Let's before we get into the Epiphany Engine.
Right, yeah. So I am the owner of Animation Comics and Entertainment LLC, or ACE for short. My company, we currently have two titles available. They're kind of action horror supernatural stories. The first one is Salvation. It's about a man named Vaughn who is basically like a tortured soul trying to get more answers to a mysterious mark that was given to him at birth. To him, he feels that his whole life has been a curse because humans hate him for being a relic. A relic is someone that is born with demon blood within them, and people hate him for it. And then there's the demons that are always trying to kill him for reasons he doesn't know, and he's hoping that this powerful shaman can give him more answers to this mysterious mark that he's been looking for. And then there's the story that I wrote, the Salvation story, is written by my brother, Terrence Young. And then the story that I wrote is called Nightfall, Michael's Awakening. And that's about a normal college quarterback named Michael Vash who finds out from his mother that he has a legacy line of werewolves within him. And the first issue starts in black and white, and then it slowly goes into color. It's giving you kind of multiple reasons why this like that, but that's how the first issue starts, and then from there on, it just basically builds and shows more of this world that of Nightfall. I'm also the writer, like I said, but I also do the artwork as well. Colors is not my thing, so I do hire colorists to help me along with the artwork process.
Mhm. That sounds like a really interesting stories. And I can see how being African American plays into, especially people hating you for being born a certain way. But
Right.
we'll get into all that. So let's talk about the Epiphany Engine project. So the Epiphany Engine project is a crossover event featuring art authors, writers, and artists from across the Black indie space. And it's going to be a graphic novel featuring a family who's just trying to get home, and they meet up with different forces, including my character Luna. And it's going to be dropped in on Juneteenth. So that in itself is so significant. We all know what Juneteenth means to us. But why did you want to become a part of the Epiphany Engine when Tony asked you, hey, would you want to be a part of this? Why did you say yes?
Because I already knew the magnitude of what this would be. You know what I mean? Not just for right now, but for future people too. And it's a nice way to say that I was a part of something, part of history. And I think anybody that heard about it, wanted to be a part of it. And I'm just glad that he selected me to be a part of it in such an important role, like being one of the writers. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to show everybody what we got coming up, man. It's gonna be huge.
I'm looking forward to it. And I know you are also an artist, and I saw some of the fan art for the Epiphany Engine that you put in our group. And also, looking at the art in your comic books, Nightfall and Salvation. Um, but for me, being asked to write, actually, if I was a writer and an artist, the writing to me would be carries more weight. And I'll tell you why. There are a lot of great writers, a lot of great artists in this space. But when someone like Tony, who's been in this industry for almost a decade, probably a little bit more,
Yeah, he's
when
been.
he looks at your writing and looks at your story and understands, he gets you, he understands you, and your personality comes out through your writing, and the way you utilize certain writing tools and techniques, and to ask you to be a part of a project that hundreds of us probably want. I wanted to be a writer, but I wasn't asked. But you were asked. So to me, that is one of the greatest compliments when it comes to someone recognizing your work as a writer. Your art is amazing. In fact, when you told me your art wasn't a part of the artist chosen for the project, I was actually a little surprised. But for me, it shows that Tony really respects your writing. And your writing is the art is always a part of the project, right? We always know good art makes people want to look at the story. But what keeps people there is the writing.
Right.
You can have
Absolutely.
really great art, but the writing could be lacking,
Mm.
right? You can have, and we've seen that even translate onto TV and movies. You can have all these great graphics, but if the writing's not there, it ain't going, it's not hitting. And then we've read comics that the art wasn't that great, but the writing was amazing.
Right.
And I bought the second issue and the third issue, right? So I mean, I know that you place value in both your art forms,
Mm.
but I think being asked to be a writer is like top tier. And that comes to show that shows how much of a writer you are, how great of a writer you are. So you may not agree with me, but that's my 2 little cents. So um
I definitely do, though. I always feel that that's something. The art is always going to be something that is going to. Oh wow, what's that? Make the people come to you, especially if you go to conventions and things. People are always going to run to you and want to know what that is. But they'll buy it, but then if they come back, it's because of the writing. You know what I mean? It's because of the story, the journey that you're being taken on. So absolutely, yeah, yeah, I agree with you on
mhm. Yeah, yeah. I definitely I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to reading your part in the project. Um and so what impact will you think the Epiphany Engine will have on the community? What impact do you think we're going to have?
I think it's going to have a huge impact on the indie comic world and space, especially for Black creators, ones that are just getting into the comic book world or ones that are already been in there for years and decades. I think it's going to really kind of show that, yeah, we're doing something that will showcase all of our characters, but also symbolize that we can come together and make something beautiful. And I think things like that is super important to show, for the future. And like I said, for those that have been in the comic book world for a long time as well.
Hmm. I agree. I definitely agree. And I'm just getting started, and I was really happy that I was allowed to be a part of this project. So it's definitely going to have a great. I think it's going to have a really huge impact.
It is.
Um,
70
for,
characters is a lot.
was that?
70 characters is a lot.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
definitely tried to get as many characters as possible. And I think that was a great testament to Tony to allow that and, find great writers that can make it all make sense. And,
Hmm.
it's a really big thing.
Hmm. That's it. I think the writing is, like I said, the writers on the project, as I remember when he revealed all of you, I was like, wow, this is going to be some crazy dialogue and some crazy, action and plot twists.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. Like I'm gonna be one of the ones, like, I can't wait to see what happens. Um, all right. So for some reason, some indie publishers feel they have to compete with one another, but this project is evidence of the impact we can have when we come together. How can indie creators, especially in the blur space, continue to uplift and support one another?
I think by social media, utilizing the social media and trying to have as many contacts that you can and share their work, because social media, not everybody is really good at marketing, but they might have a good comic or a good story that they're working on, or they
Hmm.
an artist that's looking for help. And I think these things are really important to utilize and really to show that we can come together and share here or post, hey, check this guy's work out. Things like that is really important to help others, that aren't really good at marketing, you know what I mean, or sharing
Hmm.
their work. Just letting other people know that there's different avenues and stories that we do. Not everybody does superhero stories. That we do all different types of things, horror and everything in between. So
Hmm.
I think utilizing social media and just sharing, even if you're going into a convention, you know what I'm saying, and you might be talking to someone and maybe that person is like, oh, I'm not really feeling it. I'm more interested in this. You can go, oh, well, there's a guy over there that does this type of stuff that you
Hmm.
think those things are very important to because to keep everything close knit and not try to help another person. It's stupid. I would never do that.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's a really good point about when you go to different comic cons, giving props to, even though a lot, sometimes people will stop at your table and just out of curiosity because they like your banner or something like
Right.
that. But when you realize that they're not really into your particular work, pointing them to, hey, my guy down there does XYZ. So that's actually a really good point. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, I do that all the time because a lot of times people and they see my stuff or they see my t-shirts or things like that, and I tell them it's a horror story or action horror. They're like, "Oh, I'm not really into action horror," and I go, "Okay, well, what are you into?" "Oh, yeah, all right. Well, there's a guy over there that does that type of work. Go see him."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's not even coming back my way, it doesn't matter. That's not the reason why I'm doing it. I'm doing it just because I know that they can have more traction that way, and it makes me feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Even business cards too, if you can get some of the people that's in your area or whatever that have their own business card, you can just, hey, here's a business card of their stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
things like that is always important to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have any Comic Cons coming up?
Yeah, I'm actually going to one next week. The 15 annual Black Festival in
Mm-hmm.
in Manhattan, New York.
Oh, wow, wow. That's gonna be a big one. That's
I'm
gonna be a
from
big
New
one.
York, so for me, that festival or that convention is really huge and important to be a part of. And this is going to be my first year being a part of it. Unfortunately, I'm only going to be there for one day, which is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But even just to be there for one day is still a big thing, because all of the popular Black comic book creators go to this convention, and there's some that I haven't seen or really talked to physically. So it'll be nice to actually see them, talk to them and conversate, and just be a part of the convention is a big thing. So I'm excited about that one for sure.
Oh, that's nice. Make sure you share some pictures and some videos.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Definitely gonna be doing that.
Um, I still, this year I focused more on some other aspects of my creative journey. But when Luna issue 2 is finally available, because we just finished up the crowdfunding campaign for her. So the letter just finished, it's off to print. So when I have some actual books in hand, I'll have issue 1 and 2. And I feel it'll make more financially, it'll make more sense if I go to book another Comic Con. But I have not done so because I'm waiting on issue 2. So, and you know how that goes.
Mhm. The
Having
more you
just one
have,
issue.
the more money you have opportunity to make more sales. So yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So yeah. So hopefully once I get my issue 2, I'm gonna be applying to some tables, late this year, early next year. So yeah. And they're very fun. I've been to 2, one as a vendor, one as just just walking through the aisles, and
Mhm.
they were fun, and meeting different
Yeah,
people, different creators from this space. It's a lot of fun.
going to conventions is probably one of my favorite things to do because I'm
Hmm.
up close and personal person. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So when someone comes to my table, you get all the crazy energy that comes with me, and then it shows my excitement, but it also the feedback that I get back from people actually interested in my story and wanting to buy more and wanting to support it's a great feeling because it's one thing to have a story and you think it's good, but then when you go to conventions and you tell it to people and they're like, I want this, I need this.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's a great feeling. It really makes you feel like, okay, what you're doing is actually really good, and it's not
Hmm.
just people. It's just your brain thinking that you have something really good.
Hmm.
Kind of really just confirms it. So I love going to conventions, and like you said, you also get to see so many other talented creators, and
Hmm.
you can conversate about whatever, or you can pick their brain, because we're all really willing to kind of give back and help each other in any way possible. So these things are fun, and that's why I enjoy them.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, and I can't wait to it's gonna be interesting because we all, after the project, the Epiphany Engine, we're all gonna get like 5 books. But we gonna want some more. We're gonna want some more to put on our table. So it's gonna be something that I feel like it might even be a part 2, because I think it's gonna have that much success. So I'm looking forward to how this all plays out. So let's get into some of these projects that we're watching on TV right now. Let's first start off with Good Times. Okay, I don't know if you saw the trailer to the Good Times reboot. Um, did you see it, number one? And then tell me your thoughts on it.
I did see it. And you know, for me, when I first saw it, I just I didn't know how to take it. You know, I was just so angry and so disappointed in what it could have been and what it should have been.
Hmm.
But knowing that certain writers, important writers that were supposed to be in it, backed out way before it, I wasn't expecting much. And when
Hmm.
I saw the artwork, I was just like, this looks like it's gonna be really stupid. Yeah, like I kind of automatically was like setting my standards really, really low.
Hmm.
Yeah, to say I was disappointed is an understatement. You know? To use that title and to know how important it was for the Black community at that time,
Hmm.
and you know, to this day and age now, you know, people still know about it. They might not know about every episode or things like that, but they know that Good Times was a show that Black people from all times and generations watched it at one point or another. That and
Hmm.
Sanford and Son and probably so many others.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's so interesting. You said as an artist, when you saw the artwork, you didn't have your expectations weren't that high. So what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, because you when you think of Good Times, you know the characters. At least I do. I may not look,
Hmm.
cool, but I am kind of old. But so you know, when I saw the artwork, I was like, this looks like it's gonna be over the top, but it doesn't really have that same feel of what those characters represented. It looks like it's gonna be a new generation, but it just looked kind of stupid. I saw the character design of the baby selling drugs, and that just was like, nah, I don't think this is gonna be something
Hmm.
to watch, you know. But you know, you never know. Sometimes artwork can trick you, and then you know the story might be a little different than what it perceives it to be. So I think it's always important to actually just watch it or whatever, maybe a trailer or episode, just to get your
Hmm.
own you know opinion. But when I saw that trailer, I was like, nah, I think I'm good. I think
Yeah, you didn't miss. I watched one episode because I didn't want to watch. I don't know if all 10. I think there's 10, supposed to be 10 episodes in the this season. If there's well, probably only gonna be one season.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I only watched the one episode. And the reason why I only watched one episode was because I didn't want to give them the false impression that I actually was enjoying it. But I
right.
wanted to watch the episode to see if it really matched what my initial thought was, which was that it was going to be trash. And it was trash.
Mhm.
There were so many stereotypes um, that were reinforced through the dialogue, through the action, the plot points. And I'm just confused as to why these actors agreed to do something like this. Because within the first 5 minutes, I actually wrote a post about it. And this is I'm not even exaggerating. Within the first 5 minutes, let me tell you what we saw. We saw the dad was singing to roaches. They were eating spam. There was a dirty sofa mattress. It was that same chair from 30 years ago, the flower one with flowers by the door. It was that same chair. Junior failing 10th grade again, the patriarch walking around naked, the drug dealing baby, mumbling rappers, drive-bys, counterfeit money, women calling themselves out their name, and that's just in the first 5 minutes. And as the episode went on, the little girl she was protesting, she had body odor, she had flies flying around her. It was I don't understand what their purpose was for this reboot. I
Right.
don't understand what the purpose was. I don't get it. I don't get it. And so I'm not going to support it. And it's just real sad that Netflix decided to, I mean, who in the world thought this was a good idea at Netflix? I don't understand it. I mean, the Asians and the Pacific Islanders and the indigenous population, they get Avatar, right? We get Good Times. What how, what in the world? What in the world? And it just I just really disappointed in the actors that decided to participate in this that minstrel show. To me, it was a minstrel show.
I think, like you said before, when it comes down to the writing, I think that's where you show that the writing is so much important because, like I said, the original writer was the writer from the Boondocks, and
Mm-hmm.
he was supposed to do it, but he backed out because he saw what the ideas and what they wanted from the story, and he knew
Right.
that it was going to be bad, and he didn't want to have any type of association with it. And when it comes to the voice actors or just the actors in general, because most of the actors aren't voice actors or regular actors. But people trying to make money and try to sustain themselves. So I can't really hate them for that. But this everybody I feel like everybody knows that this is not going to have another season. This is
Mm-hmm.
something that they either going to learn from and say, okay, well, maybe we should try to get Aaron back and do it how we wanted it to do it originally, or just have him do his own different story, or maybe even just bring back the Boondocks itself and put it on Netflix. You know what I mean? Like that, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that would make a lot of people happy,
Mm-hmm.
in ways. So for me, I love the Boondocks. My new story that I'm actually doing with my brother, called Brook City, is sort of like a nod to that. It has
Mm-hmm.
that type of element where it's like an over the top comedy, but there's also subtle little hints of things that it's important with the Black community. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so like for me, it's just the less we talk about it, the less we see it. I don't post anything about it, just let it slowly just disappear like it never happened. But actually at the same time, let that I feel like when we don't say anything, or like don't watch it, that shows, oh wow, look at how they'll show in the ratings that no one really likes it, or no one's watching this show. But
Mm-hmm.
posting it, is powerful now in this day and age too. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe show a post and say how trash it is, and then they'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they need to come back and do it. Something better.
Right. And I think it was disrespectful to the legacy of Esther Roll. And I'm sure I forget the actor's name, the father who played the James Evans.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure
Uh-huh.
he hates it as well. So I haven't really heard from JJ Walker. And I don't think I've heard from Bernadette, one that played Thelma.
Mhm.
I don't is the one who played Michael Evans still alive? I don't even
Yeah, he's
know.
still alive. He's a
Okay. I
yeah.
don't think we've heard from them at all, but I'll be curious to see what they think as well. Let's talk about X-Men. X-Men 97. So what do you think so
Definitely
far?
talk about that. That's that. I feel like that's, man. Like for me, growing up, X-Men original was so important to me because that was my way of really knowing about comics, because I didn't grow up watching or reading comics. I was the one that kind of was just watching them on through cartoons and things like that. Well, my brother, on the other hand, he was the one that was actually reading the comics and getting more information on the stories. So that's kind of what our name is really about, the ACE name. But for me, the X-Men, the new one, is so much better. I mean, not so much better. I would say it's just like continued that same kind of trend of what the original was doing. You know what I mean? Like it just made it that same wavelength. Like it didn't downgrade it. It didn't really kind of make it better. It just kind of, it was what it was. It was great, and it's still great to this day. It's like
Hmm.
they didn't really miss a beat in my way. I mean, the animation is a little better, of course, because of the times that we're in. But story wise, it's so good. It's so,
Hmm.
every
Yeah.
episode, you're like, man. I always say it to myself because I like, after watching, I think 1 through 3 every Wednesday, I was like, all right, maybe I'm gonna wait, that way I could watch 2 episodes. But when it
Hmm.
comes, like, I know it's gonna be good. I can't wait. I'm gonna watch it anyway. So I feel like that, but it's so good every episode.
Yeah.
My hope is that the original writer that they fired will come back and do season
Hmm.
2, because it's for them not to do another season would just make no sense. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
who knows? Disney is Disney.
Yeah. I think what happened was I think he completed season. I think Bodemeyer completed season 2, and then they fired him. So I mean, we don't really know the real reason. There's rumors that he was hard to work with, which to me is always what people say about us when they don't want to keep
Mm.
working with us. They always say we're difficult. again, I don't know. I'm not in the writer's room. I don't know if that's actually true or not. And then there's the other thing where he's allegedly has an OnlyFans account. So, we don't really know, but I just know that if the writing suffers because he's not there, it's going to lose some points with me. I probably won't stop watching, but I definitely will be talking about it, like
Right.
you said, posting about it. And um I read somewhat because I was like, why is this so good? Like, why, this is something that is from our childhood. Why are we still connecting with X-Men, right? And so I read somewhere, someone said that it's a continuation from the 90s, from the 90s cartoon, but
Yeah.
it's tapped in and dialed into the issues of 2024. And I was like, that is so true. That is so true with the different, mass shootings, the genocide that's going on right now in Palestine. I just in every part in other parts of the world, it's really dialed into the issues that we're facing today. And it's kind of almost like our escape, from these horrific things. It's our escape into this fantasy world. Um, of course, episode 5, our hearts were broken. Um, but episode 6, they gave us they gave us a little bit of what we needed. We needed to see Storm. We they took Gambit from us, they took Magneto from us, so they gave us Storm back.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy. I still have high expectations for Storm. I wish that they would kind of change her hair to reflect that she is a Black woman. When she hair does not stay straight in rain. Black hair does not stay straight in rain. And generally speaking, there's some Black women who have straight hair, but then most of us have curly hair. So I don't know. I understand why they stuck to the 1970s version Storm. I understand it. And it's an ode to, Chris Claremont and Stanley. I get it. But I would have loved to see Storm in her natural hair, natural Black hair. So that's my only criticism about it. But other than that, I think it was beautifully written. I want to see more Forge, in Storm's relationship. Professor X, I forgot how powerful he was, but he's really powerful. I forgot how powerful he was. Um, but it was really good. I'm really enjoying the series so far.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that he said, the writer originally, was that, he didn't want to make it all about Wolverine. He wanted to make it about the X-Men as a whole. And you
Hmm.
see that in every episode. Every character has their day to shine in every episode. There's one
Hmm.
character that really stands out. You know what I mean? Me being a huge, huge, huge Cyclops fan, that they finally did him justice. Like, I feel like that's been kind of like the running joke, is that he's a Boy Scout. And it's like, yeah, you say that because you don't know anything about the comics.
Hmm.
Cyclops is far from a Boy Scout. You know what I mean? So it's great to finally see him get his true shine and his true justice. Like, he is a badass. He is a leader, what I mean? But, I feel like, the best leaders are ones that have, a soft side to them, but also
Hmm.
can be stern when they need to be as well. And that's what Cyclops is. You know what I'm saying? He's someone that definitely is a person that, you can't just walk all over him and think he's not gonna come at you and, like, what you talking about? He'll step
Hmm.
in if he needs to. Don't. So that's what I love about
Right.
it. But yeah, I just feel like this it's going so well, and I'm excited to see the end. It's got, I think, what, 10 episodes, right? So we're
I
at
know.
11.
Yeah. I don't like that.
So
I
all
don't
things,
like that.
all things gotta come to an end. But eventually, I feel like the ending is gonna probably be maybe a cliffhanger, maybe.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited on the journey that it's taking us. And I think anytime when you have a story that does this, it,
Hmm.
it's a great journey, and it's going to be a great
Hmm.
story. So I'm
Hmm.
excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and I can't wait to see how you bring uh that same love for the comics and your writing style into the Epiphany Engine project. I'm looking forward to reading the whole story, but it's going to be. I'm looking forward to just seeing how it all comes together. And let's see what else. Okay, so next question. Now that we're talking about X-Men 97, Good Times, and then when you compare X-Men 97 to Good Times, and some of the other projects we see in Hollywood right now, what do you think Hollywood can learn from the indie comic book community? And I want to say indie comic book community because there are some really great writers who aren't Black, and not just the Black space, but all of us in this indie space. What can Hollywood learn from us?
I think they're already kind of putting that into fruition right now with some of our really popular Black indie creators that are having signed deals to these powerful companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like David Cranston. I think he has a deal
Mm-hmm.
with Disney.
Yeah.
The guys from Stranger Comics have a deal as well, and I think that's going to continue to continue on. You know what I mean? I think the more stories that we show how powerful our stories are, and I think that's important because for years they've been utilizing books and things like that, but not really tapping into the indie side of it. I feel like because I
Mm-hmm.
think many of them probably thought that all we do is superhero stories, but there's different stories that are being told with the testament of those two people right there and with their
Mm-hmm.
writing their stories. So I think slowly but surely they're gonna start really taking really good indie companies and stories and bring them into the live action format or maybe animated stories and things like that. So I'm excited about the future for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after when this Infinity Engine is over, that's gonna even put more eyes on us and maybe us as a whole to maybe look for more stories that we're doing, but also
Mm-hmm.
maybe kind of look at some of those characters that are in the Infinity Engine and maybe want to try to do something with them as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's only going to just continue to go up from after
Mm-hmm.
this Infinity Engine.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I definitely agree. Um, and so it kind of goes into my next question. What do you think is the future of the indie comic book community? So you pretty much touched on it. You think I do think that Hollywood is paying attention. Um, it, Sometimes I mean I have seen them actually copy some indie creators' works,
Yeah.
which is not a good thing. But I think that that's a testament to that they're seeing the power of the indie comic book community, and we are a huge community. And I'm almost to the point where I don't even think I think indie is just means that we're independent, but it doesn't necessarily indicate how vast this community is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we are growing in numbers, and we support each other. I mean, again, there are a few people who like to compete, they like to compare, but I think for the most part, we all understand the importance of community and supporting each other, you know. So, but I think the future is bright. I definitely
I
agree
truly
with
do.
you.
I think even for the characters, but the writers as well. Maybe they might try to say, "Hey, what are you guys working on?" And maybe we can. That's like an easy way to pitch our stories, so we can have
Hmm.
that on them as well. So I feel like this is going to open up a lot of eyes for a lot of people. You know what I mean? And for those that there's so many people that always talk about they want to see more Black people doing things and in Hollywood or whatever like that and just in general, but they don't know where to find it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
When you see the Infinity Engine and the impact it will put on, I'm sure those will bring in more people like that and they go, oh wow, I didn't know that this was a thing. What else? What did these guys? Oh, they have a story, and then that'll bring in more people as well. You know what I mean? Casual fans, I guess you could call them. So
Hmm.
I think it's just gonna be a big thing, and I'm happy to be a part of it in any way.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be an exciting moment, exciting time for all of us, and it's such a historical month of Juneteenth. Um, it's just it's one that we in dedication to our ancestors who survived an horrific part of history, um, to make sure that we had that their children had a better future, and so this is a dedication to them So um, all right. So tell us how we can support you. What are your where can we find you? Where can we follow you?
Mhm. So yeah, you can find me on my website, www.animationcomicsent.com. There we have all of our social sites, but all of our social sites, we're everywhere. We're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, Twitter, not so much, or X as they call it now, Instagram. So yeah, you go to our website on the top right, you can see all of our social sites. But our website is where you can find so many more things like our t-shirts, all of our merchandise, and see some of our future projects that we have coming up as well, such as Brook City, as I mentioned, and Ichi Warrior of Doom and other stories as well.
All right. And it's animation comics, right?
Yeah. So some people say comic scent, because
Okay.
comics and then ENT. So they think comic scent, but no, it's comics ENT, so for entertainment. Dot.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. Mhm.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'm gonna make sure I put that on the screen too. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dwayne. Thank you so much for spending some time with me to talk about, your artistry as well as your role in the upcoming crossover Epiphany Engine. Epiphany Engine. And you say if Infinity Engine.
Yeah, I know.
Am I saying it wrong?
No, it's Epiphany Engine.
Okay, so Epiphany Engine project. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we are still recording, but let me say the a real closer. I'm gonna edit all that out.
Okay, I got you.
So thank you so much, Dwayne. Thank you for sharing where we can find you, where we can follow you, where we can support you, and you take care.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna edit the part where I'm like, is that infinity or infinity? I take all that out.
Yeah.
Tony's gonna be
I
like,
would
what?
be cool with it. Corrections is always important. You know what I'm saying? I'm messed up on that one myself.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna edit this and then I'll send you out a link to see it. Um and I'll, send you all like the posts and all that stuff to promote it and stuff like that.
All right, no problem.
I'm gonna break it up. Like I use like I think it's called Opus clips, and they like break up like a really long video into like different like 30-second clips. So
All
I'll
right.
send you some of those as well, so you can post them and stuff like that. So, but thank you so much.
Thank you. I always enjoy talking to other creators and or just interviews like this. It's always
Mm.
so yeah, I enjoy it.
You have good luck on your the Comic Con next week. I hope you sell out, and
Thank you.
I will see you on Facebook.
Yes, yes.
All right, you take care.